we're going to take a look at adding a plugin into NetBeans, and we'll just use this with one of our JDBC projects. So first I need to get online, and I'm going to go to netbeans.org, and at netbeans.org I'm going to go to plugins, and one of the most popular downloads is this ireport here. It's just a NetBeans plugin for generating reports with JDBC projects. Pretty nice reports, kind of like you get with Access or different types of SQL Server products. Notice the size 64.69 megabytes, but I'm going to go ahead and download it. And in this example, I'm in a 32-bit version of Windows 7, so I don't know, your experience might be different if you're in 64-bit. Okay, I finished downloading it, and now I'm going to go to my computer, and I'm just going to decompress it. And here's the folder. Notice that there are 4 plugin files with the extension nbm. So now I'm going to open up NetBeans. Okay, and with NetBeans opened up, I'm going to click on Tools, go to Plugins, and I want to go to Downloaded and say Add Plugins. And I'm just going to paste the path to that directory right here. Alright, so those are the 4 files that I extracted from the file that I downloaded. So I'll hold down Shift, select them all, I'm going to click Open. They're all checked, and you can go down and you can see the details of each one if you want in the right pane, but I'm just going to click Install. And Next, Accept, Update. And I'm going to click Continue, trust the source, and I'm going to restart the ID now, or IDE. So it'll reload NetBeans. Okay. And now that it's installed, if I come over here, and I'm just going to make a test project just to show you. I'll call this one Test. The next thing we need to do is set up a DSN connection for our database file. And whereas before I was using the 64-bit version of Windows 7 with a combination of 32 and 64-bit JDK and JRE, in this example here I'm on a 32-bit version of Windows 7, and everything's 32-bit. So I'm just going to go to Control Panel, since I'm in the 32-bit version of Windows 7, not the 64-bit, and I can go to Administrative Tools and Data Sources ODBC, and I'm going to go to System DSN. I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to scroll down, and I want to choose Microsoft Access Driver. I'm going to click Finish. I'm going to click Select, and I'm going to go Browse for my database, which is right here, inventory.mdb. Click on OK. I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it Inventory, and I'll give it a description here. Not necessary, but inventory of PC parts there. and I'm going to click on OK. Okay, so now my DSN exists and it's set up and I can connect to it. And now with our plugins downloaded and installed and extracted and our DSN set up, we're ready to utilize ireport. And just as an example, here I'm in a database project we've been working with previously, and just connects to an MDB file and uses some simple SQL statements to go through records of the database or to search for items or update, add new records, and so forth. Okay, so anyway, if I wanted to use ireport, I'm going to right click on default package or whatever package you wanted to create reports in. I'm going to choose other, and I'm going to go to my new report category since I installed that plugin, and I'm going to choose the report wizard. I'm going to select next, and I'm going to choose a template, in this case flower landscape. I'll select next. The name of the report, I'm going to call it inventory 1, and as far as the location, I'll go with the defaults. Instead of empty data source, I'm going to click new to create a new data source. I'm going to choose database JDBC connection, click next, and the name is inventory, and I need to change the JDBC URL to inventory as well. Alright, so it has to match the name of my DSN, my data source name that I just previously created. I need to change the JDBC driver, so I'm going to go up here and select JDBC ODBC bridge, and when I do that, I'm going to click test. Oops, changed. Notice it changed the name of my URL again, so to change it back to inventory. Alright, so just take a mental picture of that, inventory, JDBC, ODBC bridge, and then the name of your DSN here. I'm going to click test. I have no password on the database. Connection test was successful, so we're okay. So I'm going to click on save. Now that we've connected to our DSN, we need to design a query. And I'm just going to click on design query, and again I have to authenticate with the database. Here's my DSN name here for my database. I'm going to double click it. When I do, notice all the fields appear. This is kind of a neat graphical tool for designing SQL queries, but we're just going to go with the basic select for now. I'm going to click on OK. Alright, notice it writes the SQL for me. I'm going to click on next. OK. Re-authenticate. I'm just going to select all the fields to display them. I'm going to click on next. You could choose to group by. I'm going to choose inventory ID. And next, that's the primary key value, and finish. Okay, and once I've done that, notice that it creates, in this case, a Jasper reports or ireport XML file. And okay, it's done processing. So here's sort of the basic raw default template. And I'm going to come over here and double click. It's to edit the title. We'll just call it PC part inventory. And put my name in there. Whatever else you wanted to customize there, you could do that as well. Okay, notice that over here on this tab, I'm going to click on the XML tab, and it'll show you the XML that it writes. And I'm going to click on the preview tab. I have to authenticate with the database. And here's my report. PC part inventory, Charles, Germany. And then I'll go to the next page. And there's all 12 records. Let's say we want to use this NetBeans plugin in code and compile it into a project. We can do this by going down here to Libraries under the Projects category and right-clicking and selecting Add Jar Folder. And then notice where I am. I'll pull up my path here. I'm in C, User, C Germany. .NET Beans 7.1 and modules. Okay. Inside modules, I want to add these 4 jar files. So I'm going to hold on Shift and select them all and click Open. And we're not done yet. I'm going to right click again and select Add Jar Folder. I'm going to go into the ext folder, highlight one of these and hit J to scroll on over to the J's. I'm going to select the first jasperreports jar file and hold on Shift and go all the way down here to the last, and then select Open. So again, notice I have all of these jar files included in my libraries now. And then the first thing you want to do in code is import net.sf.jasperreports.view asterisk and net.sf.jasperreports.engine.asterisk. These 2 imports here will give you access to the objects you need to code. I'm using our old database project from previous examples. This is the one we were using to build SQL statements and queries and search through our database. So I needed to add a new button for displaying and printing the report. So in this case, here's my JButton view report. Once it's been declared and instantiated, I had to add it to the background. Once I did that, I had to add action listener to it. Once I did that, I went into my action performed event handler method, and I mapped clicking the view report button to this function right here, view report action, just down here at the very bottom. And then in view report action, what I need to do to make use of this ireport tool or Jasper reports in code is inside of try and catch blocks, I need to set up a string, and this string is simply the path to my XML file here, which is inventory1.grxml. That's the report that I created previously. Okay, and this path here, it's just the directory structure going into the source folder of my Java project. But remember that a backslash by itself is an escape sequence, so I have to use 2 backslashes for each subdirectory. Once the string is set up and the path points to the right location and has the right file name, I then build an instance of a Jasper report, and I call Jasper compile manager .compile report, and I pass in my string right here. Then I build a Jasper print object. I'm calling it Jasper print, and I call the method Jasper fill manager .fill report, and this takes 2 parameters. I pass in my Jasper report that takes my string to the directory path and name of the file as an argument, null, and then my connection object connects. And that was global, and up here. It's just my connection object right there from my JDBC database. Finally, I'm going to call view report on, in this case, Jasper viewer. Alright, so it's static, just Jasper viewer, view report. And I'm going to pass in as the argument Jasper print, the instance that I built up here. So when I do that, basically the effect of clicking on that button will be to display this report. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to right click, run the file, drag it down here so you can see. I'm going to click on report. And now you can see, here's my report. And advance, and these are the last 4 records right there.